We are up. Hi, so I'm still getting set up here, serving myself some coffee. We have some Breath of the Wild music and this link here because we are going to be drawing a bunch of different positions. I can show that real quick. Bunch of different positions for a kind of talking avatar person for like video streams and such. And the request was for a character that basically is based on Breath of the Wild Link with some differences. You see the Metroid logo there, there will be brown hair. That's basically it. It's going to be a color sketch rather than full art, so it should flow a little bit faster. Yeah, than usual. I'm still just getting set up here. Where's my glove? Oh, there it is. Alright, so basically I am going to be polishing the sketch and then applying some fairly simple coloring to it. Alright. Today I'll try to remember to drink my coffee. I always let things go cold when I'm streaming. So. Alright, let's lower this. Should I lower it or should I just polish it? I'll go for the polishing route. Hey, forgetters, thank you for the follow. I wonder, are you the person who commissioned me? Or did you just wander in? What's up? So yeah, I'm just going to let me check my pencils. Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I'll just polish this one. But the first thing I'll do is I'll polish the head. Yeah, I'll polish the head so that I can use it for other poses. Like the general structure of the head is going to be basically the same. Here we go. So this head's already pretty detailed. I'm mostly just going to clean it up a little bit. And then I'm going to copy it to a new layer where I'll just use it as a template for future heads. This is supposed to be relaxing Breath of the Wild music, but they keep using the audio from if a guardian is nearby. It's not very relaxing. Thinking about changing the soundtrack if it's going to be like this all the time. Skip the head a little bit. Hello, what's up, Largan? I'm working on a little commission, which is just a bunch of talking poses of this link-based character. It's going to be color sketches, so my hope would be that I can just sit down here and do the whole thing this stream. I need to get like disciplined and good at color sketches again. Neat. So what's up with you? Hope you had a nice day. Coming up into the weekend. I guess you're already basically in weekend mode, right? Since it's night time for you. Just going to switch to soundtrack. I'm not enjoying it. Alright. A lot of high-pitched sounds in that soundtrack, which maybe it's just me, but I was finding kind of annoying. Never found it annoying in Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, in that context, it's not liking it. I'm spending the weekend in Stockholm. Cool. What are you doing in Stockholm? I've never been anywhere close, so I don't really know much about it. But I guess it's cool that you can like travel at all. Must be doing pretty well with vaccinations. Like we can travel around here, but you know, we generally do it, you know, if there's a necessity. But, you know, rarely. Like my girlfriend goes to visit family like twice a year. But I haven't gone anywhere. I've gotten my first dose. Yeah, I have also gotten one dose. So yeah, there's already some protection. But I'm only getting my second dose in... I guess I really can't escape the high-pitched sounds, huh? Yeah, the soundtrack doesn't really work for Age of Calamity either. I haven't played Age of Calamity, but yeah, you'd think that kind of gameplay would require more upbeat kind of soundtrack. Yikes. My god. I'm just not in the mood for the high pitch sounds. A thing about Brazilian speaking Portuguese is we don't really have separate, basically short and long E sounds. Like in English, there's a difference between sheep and sheep. In Portuguese, we just think of both of those sounds as the same. So people mispronounce that kind of stuff a lot. It just sounds the same in our heads. Which leads to some problems because we kind of default towards the short sound. So instead of saying beach, we'll say bitch, which is something else. That's one of the more unfortunate sound alikes in that case. I kind of prefer how my sketches look to my final art. I just did a whole new, there's actually a link down below. I did a more elaborate commission prices thing, and I added color sketch, which the name, I just noticed is what people usually call it, because the name is not fully explanatory, because it's also, hopefully the images make that clear, because it's also a more polished sketch than just the sketch tier. But it basically means that, you know, I'm not doing super super clean line art, but personally for my style I feel like it looks better actually, and now it's also cheaper, so I'm kind of hoping people will go for that, because it does take a lot less time. Often just little things, like a texture on something, or like shoelaces, things that you can do real quick in a sketch, or you can just kind of imply a certain shape very quickly, or like hair, or you can just give it a light and kind of fluid drawing with a sketch where it can look nice. But if you want to look nice in full art, it's a real pain and takes a really long time. So yeah, I'm trying to push people away a little bit from full art with the prices. I didn't increase them that much, but I more so made this much cheaper alternative available with the color sketches that hopefully people will go for. That way, like if people go for that, hopefully I can, you know, be doing commissions and still just have more content up, because they take less time, so I can post more often in my social media and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. The first time with a new pricing scheme, there's always going to be kinks to work out. But I am hopeful for the future with this new system. I just think it's a lot better, and it's kind of long overdue. I should have done it earlier. It's for the health of the whole, I don't even know, my online presence. But yeah, what's going on with you guys? Last stream I promised I would actually play some games and didn't. I wound up just drawing up until late in the night. Oh, I actually finished the piece that I was working before. I was just doing it on stream thus far, but I wound up just finishing it off stream. Still kind of work a little bit faster off stream. It's not that there are more options for commissions. I might order another one soon, or in a few weeks. Thank you very much. I always very much appreciate everybody who commissions me. You guys make it possible for me to do art. Like I had, before I came back in the pandemic with like the option for commissions, I had pretty much stopped doing art altogether. I just couldn't afford it, basically. You know, time is money. I had to spend my time in other ways, but now that I can justify it by doing commissions, then I can do art again. Even, you know, non-commission art, I can also do it because it, you know, it's also useful for getting commissions. So yeah, you guys make the whole thing possible. So even, you know, even the art that isn't commissions is only there because of the people who do commission. I hope you guys tell me if the soundtrack ever gets a bit loud. I feel like a lot of these playlists have some very different like average volumes between songs, so sometimes it just kind of goes up, and looking at the levels is very hard to tell. Lol, I've got back to posting me drawings. just redesigning OCs. Oh, that's cool. I do enjoy OCs and all that. Like, I like a lot of artists who have OCs, and I like character design, but I've never really done it so much myself. I've tried a little bit when I did like villain designs. That didn't particularly take off. It would probably take just more dedication to it until something clicks, like one character, just resonates with people. Maybe I'll go back to it and go back to just designing characters. But I kind of stopped for a bit because I couldn't really justify it. Like right now, it's already been way too long, and even for most of this year, I haven't posted as much just fan art as I should. See how much lower the volume is for this track? I'm going to switch again. Switch playlist again. Try and find a more competent one that has uniform volume. So yeah, I should be doing more fan art in general, so I haven't found as much time, but I really like character design and I like OCs. So like dream scenario for me as an artist online would be to eventually have enough support that I could switch to either a Patreon model or getting like followers here, not followers, what's it called, the people who pay? Anyway, subscribers? I think subscribers. Enough that I could make like a monthly income, just making art that everybody wants, more so than just commissions. But I don't think I am that close to that. I think you need a lot of just viewership to your stuff before you can go into that kind of model. And it's kind of a leap, right? If I want to make a Patreon, I need to justify a Patreon and have a Patreon exclusive content and stuff. And right now with commissions, I just don't have the time to do that. I have to, take a leap and just full on switch modes, and for that I'd have to have like a lot more viewership. There's a Zelda music compilation I like called Storm of Songs. It has rain sounds added. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna try it out. Just pause this one for now because it also seems pretty okay. But let's do it. Storm of Songs. Here we go. Seems nice. And rain sounds always good. Sometimes I do that just in parallel by having both soundtrack and rainy mood. So yeah, hopefully that comes across fine. I think as far as desktop audio goes, you guys will get as clear audio as I do. I was kind of worried if the rain was drowning out the melody, but I don't think that's a possibility. So yeah, pretty good. Thanks. So yeah, I've got this little polished head here. So what I'm going to do is copy paste it to a new layer, and I'm going to erase everything else, including the ponytail and like the tufts of hair in front of his ears, because those change with the position. Then I'm going to reuse like the head structure for the different poses. So yeah, I haven't really been able to play any more games. I'm still wondering whether I should play something on stream sometimes. But just based on the people who are here, and feel free to answer no. Would you have any interest in me also streaming stuff that isn't art? Like sometimes streaming games? Or are you more of an art streamer watcher person? Because I mostly watch art streams, so I totally get if you guys are the same and wouldn't really be as interested in gaming. Dead Wolf, I'd love to see you play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oh, I could play that. I'm not any good. Like, I don't suck. I can beat the game, like in single player. By the way, I also don't follow gaming news a lot, but I see people on Twitter talking. I might blog and what happened? Yeah, I might watch some games. Okay, cool. I'll see, like, next time I'm playing stuff at home. I'll just turn on the stream and see people are interested. I mean, depending on the game, I guess. Preferably something that I could comfortably chat with people while I play. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, what's with the free Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tag on Twitter? Have you guys seen that? I've seen that yesterday a lot. I don't know what that means. Do they want it playable in a modern platform? Because I think the last time it was like released was for the Xbox 360, when they released it with online. Like, is that what they mean? Because I don't know, there are so many games that just aren't available, it's more the rule than the exception. Not having a game available on modern platforms, right? People don't say free Smash Bros. Melee, people just play it on GameCubes or emulators now, until Nintendo arrests them. I think Max Dude just really wants the game to be available again for purchase, and I agree since I've never played it. I'd also like to get my hands on AVP 1994. Yeah, that would be. I assume that's the Alien vs. Predator Capcom beat 'em up. That's my favorite beat 'em up. I really like it. I've played it on arcade and I've played it on emulator as well, and it's so good. Yeah, I really think like every game should just be available. Like, it's so simple to make stuff available on PC, like older stuff. Like, people have already made emulators for free that you could, like, the developers could just stake. Although they already have emulators, because developer kits are basically emulators for your console anyway. So every console manufacturer has like a perfect emulator of their. They're the most qualified people to make an emulator. They already basically have the setup to make an emulator for their own consoles. It would be very easy. Anyway, games should all be available for PC. But yeah, they make them unavailable kind of on purpose, because it's like competition against their own new games, or like more expensive re-releases, so they don't have a lot of financial incentive for that. Max's Dude is pretty cool. I'm familiar with his content from YouTube, and I also follow him on stream, on Twitch, but I haven't like caught a stream yet. But when I posted the mock screenshot for A Vampire Savior Darkstalkers sequel, first Metroid Database retweeted it, which was kind of surprised. They usually retweet my Metroid art, but I think this was the first time they retweeted art that has nothing to do with Metroid. But later also he retweeted it, and I noticed that that was getting a lot of views and stuff from his retweet, so I'm thankful for that. He seems really cool. But way back I watched some of his videos that were like just fighting really difficult bosses from fighting games, you know. Like King of Fighters has a lot of bosses that are just ridiculous. Even the main bosses in King of Fighters are usually like super cheap and like ridiculously difficult to beat. At least for like someone who's not super good at the games. But basically when I play King of Fighters, it's like, okay, everything's going well, and then you get to a boss and they just completely wreck you. Because they have like super good AI on top of like ridiculous special moves. They just destroy you. I have all the NECA figures for the Alien vs Predator 94 set, and I'm sad I can't play it. What are NECA figures? I'm going to Google that real quick. I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Oh, little action figures. Is it like a brand? AVP 90. I'm thinking Alien vs Predator, not really. Oh, there they are. Oh, they're cool. That's nice. I see them. Yeah, I like the two main characters. They're so cool. It's a shame they're in no new games. Basically, for people who don't know, there's this Alien vs Predator arcade beat 'em up made by Capcom from the 90s, and they're really like ridiculous beat 'em up where you're like punching aliens to death, and you can play as two predators. The predators are pretty boring, honestly. They just look like predators. But the humans, who are usually like the boringest people in every Alien vs Predator thing, are awesome. I think the woman's called Lieutenant Kurosawa, is it? I feel kinda bad about not being sure about Japanese names because it just comes across as racist. But she's great. I love her design. And then the dude basically looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a giant metal arm. Like an arm that's way too big for him to even possibly stand up. It would rip his bones out and fall on the ground, but he just punches people with it. So they're cool. And it's just a really good game overall. It's very satisfying to play. I always liked Capcom beat 'em ups more than Konami ones. A lot of people really love the Konami beat 'em ups. I feel like they all play the same and aren't that varied. Konami ones being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons, that X-Men one that had like a 6-player version. Like those are good, especially like The Simpsons, just because it looks really nice and it's kinda cute. But I'm more of a Capcom person for beat 'em ups. Also, really like not that talked about game, but Battle Circuit is very good. Also an arcade only game. I don't think it was ever ported. But again, Final Burn exists. It's very good. It's kind of a spiritual sequel to Captain Commando. Really feels like it anyway. Like the main character looks a lot like Captain Commando. But it's just overall a way better game. It came out a lot later, you know, they had just gotten better at making games, but it's a lot of fun. It's very fast paced, doesn't have the kind of... beat 'em ups can get kind of monotonous and just repetitive in general. Oops, sorry. burp. But some of those later Capcom ones are very good. 90s Capcom's amazing, dude. They're so good. There's like an art book that's called... what is it called? I totally thought I was going to know it off the top of my head, but don't. I think it's Capcom Design Works, which is from like 2000, and it's an art book of Capcom games. And you know, there's a lot of good art there because they had a lot of good art for games back in the day. But also it just reminds you of how many amazing games Capcom had in the 90s. And that's not even counting like licensed stuff, because when I was a kid, some of my favorite games as like a really small child would Super Nintendo, Disney, Capcom games. Like Capcom would make the Disney games. For some reason, some of them didn't even get out of Japan, but in Brazil we kind of don't care. We just got games from every region. But the Mickey games, like the Mickey and Donald, Mickey and Minnie, are some of the most fun co-op games I've played to this day. Aladdin was amazing. Capcom's Aladdin. The Mega Drive Aladdin was made by Virgin, and those games, they look really nice, but they aren't very good. What else was Capcom? Goof Troop. Goof Troop is also a great co-op game. It's Goofy and Max, and it's kind of a Zelda style game if it was more focused on the puzzles than anything else. It's just stage based, there isn't like an overworld or anything. But it has very Zelda inspired puzzles, and you know, there's like simple enemies to kind of navigate and fight, but it's more a puzzle game than anything. And it's a lot of fun. Again, mostly as a co-op game. You can play single player as well, but it's a lot more fun as a co-op. One thing that I never got was Capcom's choices on who makes it to the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Those were always bizarre to me. Like the first Marvel vs. Capcom, like the Marvel characters, I think were all... no, not all of them really. But you know, most of the new characters were for Capcom, right? Because there had been already X-Men games and then Marvel vs. Street Fighter, so they already had... oh, and also the gem one, War of the Gems, whatever, Marvel Superheroes. So they had a lot of Marvel characters, but Capcom characters, they were just coming up with them, other than the Street Fighter ones and Morrigan, for that game. In 1999. And like their choices for Capcom characters were, okay, Mega Man, obviously. You're going to have Mega Man. But then Captain Commando, who was from one not very successful beat 'em up from like 6 or 7 years before that never even made it into consoles as far as I know. And then Jin, who's like the pilot for a different fighting games, but in that game you play as the Max, so you barely even see the pilot. And what else? I did just such random choices. But there was no one from Resident Evil. In 1999, Capcom made a fighting game and didn't have a Resident Evil representative. Or like Breath of Fire, you know, like long-running popular franchises. I just never got it. Even the newer ones, I always thought their choices were very weird. Some of them I even kind of like having Mega Man Legends characters in games long after they just completely abandoned that series and never made another one. That they kept putting Mega Man Walnut and Trombone and stuff. It's like, okay, so you guys remember that exists. Are you going to make a game ever? No? Okay. Very odd choices. Also, Arthur keeps making it into things. And I can't be the only person who thinks Ghosts and Goblins is like the worst Capcom game. Even the first one, even for its time, they are very, very bad. Like, they're not fun difficult, they're just kind of cheap, annoying difficult. I'm going to have to get a link reference for some of these details. It says Dragon Ball Z. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the last one. This is definitely not. I always forget to change it. Can you link avatar commission? Yeah. I should have capitalized. Oh, I did. Oh yeah, there's this weird bug. I don't know what happened. I used to be able to capitalize letters on this thing fine. But now... like the text on my window is capitalized, but it displays as lowercase. No idea what's going on there. I'll have to try to fix it. I'll just take a little T-posing link here. Yeah, that shows a lot of details. Just gotta stop real quick. Like if you just googling Breath of the Wild link, at least for me, I think regions like affect this. But if you just Google Breath of the Wild link, in the second line there is this fan art of Chad Link. I just thought it was really funny. Like, it's not bad. I'm not like criticizing or making fun of the artist. It's just Link has a really round face in the game, and then he looks like that in this, which is fine. People do a lot worse when it comes to like altering how characters look. But I don't know. Chad Link kinda made me laugh. Maybe he's supposed to be older in that? And your chin just keeps getting bigger like in Gurren Lagann? So what was I doing? Yeah, okay. Need to put his undershirt back. There you go. And I'm just going to use color for this stuff. As far as sketch go, I just do this. And like this hand thing is a mess. I'll just start from from sketch here. It's not good. Longer message. You're right. By the way, AVP 1994 has a 10 Kurosawa. Sorry for suddenly going silent when playing Dead by Daylight and the match started. Anyway, yeah, I never even knew Captain Commando existed until they released Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. Turned out to be a totally awesome, along with Armored Core. Also, yeah, Capcom choices are weird. Yeah, it's not even that they're like bad games. I don't like Captain Commando that much actually, but they're just really obscure. Like I never really played Armored Core either. And then there's the guy with the lightsaber from Marvel's Capcom 2, which is apparently from a 3D beat 'em up, which I've never like played, seen, heard anyone mention. Like I literally only know it from like googling it. I like them to do something with Ruby Heart. She is on my No Limit Smash with wishlist because I wish she's the perfect crossover representative. The main character of Marvel's Capcom 2 only appeared in Marvel's Capcom 2, though it would be cool if she was in Smash with a pirate ship. As the stage and Capcom music, it seems more likely than Sora in my opinion, at least possible. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of specific, right? I didn't play, like I played 3 like with friends, not single player mode. Did they ever bring her back after Marvel's Capcom 2? Because if not, it sounds pretty unlikely, right? There are so many other Capcom characters. But yeah, she's a cool design and stuff. But yeah, also Marvel's Capcom 2. Yeah, it was only Marvel's Capcom 2. Yeah. And again, so an original character, alright. They wanted to have like a Marvel's Capcom character, but then there's like the Sun Wukong girl thing. That like I think was from an 8-bit arcade game or something that I never played. And there's like the cactus guy. What's the cactus guy? Like they made so many characters. It's so hard to animate a character in that style. And they had so much to work with, you know. They made all those random characters and like not Zero from Mega Man X. Or like, I don't know. Like it was kind of just before a lot of other Capcom stuff, so I guess they didn't have Dante or what else, Monster Hunter, but you know, there's still a lot of Capcom stuff to work with. Still no Breath of Fire. Very odd choices for that game as well. I'm kind of doing this too final arty. I need to remember this is a sketch. Apparently she was going to be in the game but was cancelled. In another game but was cancelled. Oh yeah, I don't expect her to actually get into Smash. But if it was up to me, I'd pick Ruby. I think the Cactus Guy and Monkey Girl were also gonna be for that game. Really? I think she has a really old game. I thought I saw that. Like an 80s arcade game. But I don't know, very odd choices. Yeah, you know, I'm also not sure, but I felt that I had seen that somewhere. When I finish with this belt, I'm also going to save it in a separate layer. Like save this torso, because I think I can like reuse bits for other poses. So I can make this one look nice and then just reuse it. Like as a basis. All the torsos I kinda moved it around a little bit, because not standing in the same position. But I can use it as a starting point, just kind of distort it a little bit and then start from there. Should help. Yeah. So yeah, I might play fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe next time I like finish something, although that's yet to happen. Me finishing something and still having time to stream. But then I could always, you know, cap off a stream by playing a game. Although then my category would be wrong. Can I change category mid-stream? Do you guys know that? If not, I guess, you know, I can just tell people that I'm going to be ending the stream and starting a new one real quick. Should only take like 10 seconds. This being the symbol, I'm going to polish it. Although, actually, forget it. I'm going to completely delete this because it's supposed to be white. I'm actually going to do all the white lines on his tunic in coloring. So none of this, none of that. Alrighty. Yeah, you can change category midstream. Okay, cool. I even start a new chapter. It even starts a new chapter in the VOD. Oh, cool. Didn't know that was a thing. I'm always surprised to find views on my VODs. Like my VODs have more views. Oh, think. The Metroid guy, what's up? They're the one who commissioned. I'm almost done with this first figure. I'm going to take some bits that I can then kind of articulate and use as a starting point for other poses. But what's up? So yeah, I just finished this belt and then I add the Chica slate. Yo, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Just listening to some Zelda songs with rain. This is not real rain, this is soundtrack rain. But yeah. So, but I think fighting games would be a pretty decent thing to play on stream. Because, you know, it's very... You can just play one match after another. You can stop at any point, it's very low format. Hey, Dead Wolf, what's up? Thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. I love listening to you talk. You got a lot of interesting stuff to say. Oh, thank you very much. That was subscribed with Prime. Oh, thanks. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think I have like 3 subscribers now. So there's like Blargen, who was the first subscriber, Dead Wolf now with the Prime, and also my girlfriend has Amazon Prime, so she also dropped by just to subscribe. Just Very stonks move. I actually don't know. Do we make money from Prime subscriptions? Like either way, like I'm not really making money here. Like that's not really the idea. But I'm curious. Hi Oleg, what's up? I'm drawing a bunch of talking avatar things for like for videos, you know. For that Metroid guy who's on chat. I'll show the new people the poses. Oops, this is just a head. This is like talking, and this is disgusted, and this is happy, this is just thinking, this is having some tea, and this is looking up stuff in a phone, which is the Sheikah Slate. So yeah. What's up with you guys? Let me take a better look at this belt. Yeah, it's a pretty featureless belt. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh no, I should look up the Sheikah Slate. I'm gonna open a tab just for that. Sheikah Slate. Alrighty. The Metroid guy, this music is also what I use to sleep. Especially. Oh wow, that's so cool. Yeah, thanks Arlek. Yeah, I think they're looking pretty neat. Really loving how the drawings are coming along. Yeah, I'm glad you like them. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the sketches. So yeah, Blargen was actually the one who suggested the soundtrack. Actually, a couple of the first ones weren't very good. The first one was like relaxing Breath of the Wild music, you know, the kind of YouTube title that you expect. But like all the musics had the little high pitched sounds, you know, that incorporate into the soundtrack where a guardian is nearby, where you have the. Well, I can't really think of it with like other songs playing, but you know, the little kind of spooky high pitched melody, the kind of technological sounds when there's a guardian nearby, and that's not relaxing at all. That's the least relaxing thing. Yeah, it's not very relaxing. I also don't like high pitched sounds that much, like in background music, so even without the connotations I wouldn't love it, so that was even worse. So yeah, Sheikah Slate. So what I'm going to do now is copy this like base body onto like this layer where I'm just kind of saving pieces of Link. Yeah. Boop. This actually, I don't know why I copied that. That was very stupid. I'm just going to make it a new layer. Bam. Then we're going to decapitate him. And here we go. So I just use this creepy little layer here to pick up pieces of Link. Alright, so now we can finish this first one. Because now the hand... Just going to obstruct this a little bit. And the best thing about sketches is you get to fudge details. Like his hand's pretty out of focus, you kind of, you know, all curled up down here. Let me look at his gloves. Yeah, he has fingerless gloves. Cool. So you just get to do kind of a simplified hand, and it's not a problem because you're never going to have to do super detailed line art over it. So like bam, I got a hand done in seconds. That's awesome. Never doing full art again. Screw that. Alright, so this is the first pose because all the designs in like his shirt and stuff are going to be on the collar layer. Dead Wolf. I don't know what subscribing does, but I thought I could do it and I figured it helped. Why not? Yeah, sure, it helps. Thank you so much. And I think it probably adds to like my monies. I have no perspective of like extracting money from Twitch, because when you get affiliate, they explain to you that basically your money is locked in a Twitch wallet until you make $100. Then you can start extracting it. And I have no perspective of making $100 off of Twitch. I just... yeah, no. Because right now I have 3 subscribers, you know. So even if those count as like full $15, a part of that goes to Amazon anyway. So that's probably like $10 at most. So it would still take me almost a year with 3 subscribers to make the minimum $100. YouTube's the same with AdSense. Yeah, I never really used YouTube. I've actually thought about... I actually don't even know how that works, but I assume there's a way to download my VODs. And just maybe like trimming them and putting them up on YouTube just to have something. Because apparently people watch the VODs. I don't know if it's a lot of like bots watching the VODs or WhatsApp, but like according to Twitch's numbers, I'm supposedly getting more views on the VODs than I get live. Like we're at 7 right now. That's pretty high for me. And the VODs have like 20 something views. Like maybe people tune in and watch the VODs, and I assume they like count the view very early. But I'm kind of surprised. I guess you'll see, because I'm going to make a channel trailer. I made a really crappy one a while back, and then I decided it was better off just letting the latest VOD play. But I want to make a proper channel trailer, and that should like steal any views that amount to people just kind of logging really quickly into my page. So if VOD views go down from that, then it's probably just people very briefly logging in. It's nice background noise. Also Chic's music. Yeah, Chic's cool. It's nice background noise. You mean this sorry, the soundtrack or like VODs? because I don't actually watch a lot of VODs. I used to watch like before I had Twitch. Sorry. I guess I'm not used to talking for that long because I've been getting a lot of like my voice has been getting kind of weird after streaming for a while. What was I saying? Slash doing. Alright. VODs being background noise for people who are doing things in the meantime, like doing the dishes or writing. Yeah, I used to use VODs like that, but mainly on YouTube, which is why I'm thinking about posting them there, like before I had Twitch. Now when I log on to Twitch, I usually look for someone who's live, because, you know, I mostly just leave it as background noise. But it's a little bit nicer, you know, having the option between someone who you can, like, interact to in real time and someone you can't. I usually go for the person who's live. Especially because, you know, a lot of the people who I follow are you know, fairly small streamers who, like similar size to me, or not much bigger, who, like, appreciate the extra viewer and the occasional interaction. So I try to do that. Even earlier today, when I started this, when I was doing the sketches for this, I had some art streamers on. But yeah, it really helps a lot just having people talking, to give you, you know, something to talk about and to keep your energies high. Like, I'm not that crazy extroverted of a person, so when I'm kind of just carrying the conversation myself for a really long time, I kind of get lower energy, I get less upbeat, and that definitely makes the stream less enjoyable. Like, I'm aware of that. When I'm watching a stream, it's always nicer when the person's a little bit more upbeat in their tone. It also helps me talk about lighthearted things. I have noticed that left to my own devices, I will end up talking about kind of serious stuff. I try not to do that too much. I know nobody's coming here to hear about, like, serious issues. It is very much a wind down kind of medium. I'm feeling like this neck's a little bit longer than this neck. Is it? I guess it isn't. Yeah, I guess it isn't. I don't know. It depends on what people are after, I feel. This sort of stream seems very chill, and I don't think there's enough of those. Really? I feel like artist streams are pretty good at being chill. Like, I don't mean, maybe upbeat's not quite the right word. I mean, like, the person sounding, you know, happy, and in a good mood, I guess. Happy, not necessarily, but, like, in a good mood, not sounding kind of tired or drained, because, you know, you kind of, energy is contagious, you know. If you're kind of tired and trying to unwind and you're listening to someone who also sounds kind of tired, that's not going to be the best. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of the artists who I follow have a pretty laid back, kind of chill energy. I try to do what kind of works for me. Like, I appreciate artists and streamers in general, I guess. It's just that I mostly watch artists who have, like, a super cheery attitude. I think that's nice and uplifting. So people were very jovial and kind of cute here in their kind of stream persona, and I think that definitely has value, but I don't think I could do it. Yeah, I just don't think I could project that reliably. I guess I could like onion skin the other layer so I know how it's going to move. I did this little thing where I always made him lean a little bit. Because I don't know, at the end of the day, I am working here, and like I'm actually a lot more, upbeat about being working because I have people to talk to. That's very nice. It's been great. I think it's good for like mental health. Since it's work that you do without really interacting with anyone usually. But at the end of the day, it's late afternoon over here. I've probably already worked some time in my other job, and then, I'm sitting down to get work done. It's very easy for me to end up in kind of a not so upbeat kind of energy. It's kind of sound a little down or tired. But it's always very energizing to have people to talk to and to have viewers and all that. It kind of turns your brain from working mode to social mode, and it's good. I'm still in social isolation. I still only see, I have my D&D groups, are basically my only regular social interaction. But I only actually see in person my girlfriend and my immediate family. So the more conversation I can get in my day, the better for my mental health. I feel that the talking is great when streaming, both to talk to someone and talking about things you like. Yeah, that's really nice. Just good for your day. I've been spending most of my time in the same room. Just I kind of do all my stuff except for sleeping. I'm kind of always in the same room. I even work out in the same room. I set up a little home gym in the same room as my workspace. So it's like I'm in prison here. I just go back and forth. Honestly, it takes me a lot of effort to sound upbeat. Yeah, maybe upbeat's not quite the word. Remember, English is not my first language. Sometimes, kind of subtle things. I didn't quite get the right meaning to something. Maybe upbeat means energetic. I didn't mean it necessarily as energetic. I meant it as, I guess, happy. You can sound very chill, but still like you're having a good time. I think upbeat's not really that. Upbeat's more like energetic, happy. Higher in tone, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. This kind of little subtle things you can get wrong on a second language. Yeah, I think I explained it myself, but just saying, yeah, my choice of vocabulary was probably not the right one. So let's go for these hands. Oh yeah, also the mouth. Is this right? Oh, the eyes were a little bit up there. Wait a second. Is this still aligned in neutral? It is. Okay. I don't know why the other one was a little bit high up, but apparently it was misaligned, not the new one. The new one seems fine. I'm actually just going to use this one. No, it's useless because it's in a different position. So I'm going to use nothing. I'm going to use no reference and just draw it straight out. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. Things are getting better here in terms of pandemic and stuff, like deaths and hospitalizations are way down. A lot of people are just, you know, throwing caution to the wind and like going to bars and stuff. But I'm not willing to do that. Like, I feel pretty safe myself because like I'm young, I have no like other health stuff. Like if I got it, I'm not that worried about myself. But you know, you have like a social responsibility to not keep the spread going. So I don't think it's okay at this point. Like it's not a risk that you are taking, you're making the pandemic go on longer. And that's not okay. It's not a personal choice. Have you had a vaccine? I've only had my first dose, so I am. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that on the reasons. Like I thought it, but I didn't say it. On top of all those things that I'm already not like risk group, I've got my first dose of Pfizer, and that's already on like full efficacy. Of course, I won't be fully protected until I got my second dose, but I'm already protected enough that, you know, COVID wouldn't be like a serious health risk for someone my age and my, you know, my health in general. But it's not about me. Thankfully, like everybody who I interact with has gotten the vaccine. In fact, everybody who I interact with had gotten it before me. I was the last person. My parents got it, my brother is older than I am, so he got it a few days before I did, and my girlfriend works in education, so she got it way before I did, like a full month. I do want to look at the mouth. Okay. So yeah, that's nice. Vaccinations, you know, they could be going faster here. Our government did a lot of dumb stuff, both out of incompetence, demagoguery, and also corruption, that made us get fewer vaccines than we could have up until now. But it's not that bad. Like we have, I believe, the largest here in Brazil, by the way. I don't know if everybody knows where I'm from. I believe it's the largest public health system in the world. So we have a very good negotiating position to buy stuff like medication. Uh, Pfizer was actually offering vaccines to the government, which it didn't take because of political stuff. So we could have gotten more, but it's not that difficult to buy a vaccine when you have a huge public health system. As you know, big purchases are usually better. And we're very efficient at vaccinating. The UN had congratulated Brazil in multiple occasions on our public immunization system. So everything was in place. Our government just kind of messed up a lot, so we're behind Europe. The UK government was a nightmare about it, only now getting their act together. Yeah, I heard some bad things about the UK. Were you guys behind like the rest of Europe? Because Brazil was like a bit behind Europe, but in front of a lot of countries, actually. Zelda's lullaby, yeah. This was how I drew the eyes, yeah? Yeah, okay. Actually, I feel like this one might be a little bit smaller. Crap. The country I don't know what happened with was Japan. Japan had Olympics coming up. And they had vaccinated like not even half as many, like as big a percentage of the population as Brazil. Like it's a rich country. Like they had very few cases because, you know, they're pretty isolationist and all. And were able to like screen cases and do like contact tracing and all that. So, you know, that's great, but still vaccinate people. You're going to have Olympics, like they were long. Now they already had the Olympics. But that seems pretty irresponsible. Yeah, like people were like protesting and didn't want it to happen. Like most people in Japan, I'm pretty sure I saw something saying that majority of Japan didn't want the Olympics to happen. And you know, they knew that like a full year in advance, more than that. Ever since they delayed the Olympics, they knew that like vaccination would be very important for that, right? If they insisted in having the games there. But somehow they still didn't do it. I don't know what's up with them. Like, I can't imagine that they couldn't secure vaccines. Like even Brazil, after a while, like the first vaccines we got were imported, but after a while we started also developing our own vaccines. I'd imagine Japan would have the ability to develop their own vaccines to a fair extent. I don't know what their deal was, but oh well. Hope everything's alright. Did the playlist end? Huh, it's fairly short. I just set it to loop. Well, let's see how much of this I can do. Hopefully, as I kind of accrue assets by doing, you know, every link I do. I don't know if there will be that much more that's useful, but you know, I can always like take little body parts and put them in my body part bank, which sounds kind of creepy now that I say it out loud, but I'm referring to, you know, this layer where I can just pick stuff and kind of articulate them. So yeah, hopefully I can get, you know, at least most of this done. Body part bank, yeah. Don't you have one of those? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I have a pretty hard cutoff here for when I can stream, because later I have to eat something, but that's like 2 hours from now. I'll have to eat something and then go over to my girlfriend's to help her move. She's going to a different apartment, which is nice. It's a nicer place. But she has to box a lot of stuff, and the condo she's going to only lets them do moving stuff. Like there's like a crew that helps you move in, but they only work between 8 a.m. and 10 or 11 a.m. So I'm going to do these things last in every one, just so I can come back and like confirm that the positions are all fine. Anyway, yeah, they only work until 11 p.m. If they're not done, or 10, I don't remember which. If they're not done, they just kind of stop halfway, you know. So basically she has to start at 8 to be sure that she'll be fully moved in. I think I overdid it with the eyebrows because the other head is higher up. Did I? Yeah, I did it. Let's do last. So yeah, we have to wake up early and have everything boxed. So I'm going over there to help her box things up. Oof, that's early. I hope when I move it's going to be a bit more manageable. I think it is for most places. This deadline is because of like the rules of the specific condo that she's moving into. I was there yesterday with her, taking just the electronics, which she didn't want to put in the same, you know, truck as everything else because it's delicate. Electronics and some breakable things. And then I went to like the manager, like we went to the manager of the condo, like the little place where he stays during workday, and he has a bunch of paper things, like little memos behind him, not even behind him, like on the side of the room, on a board, and it's all like rules and stuff that you can't do, and it's said in a really kind of passive aggressive, kind of obnoxious way. Like there was one about noise. There's only 2 times in the day where you can't make noise. It's pretty easy to remember. It's only between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. and between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. So like basically all the time. But like they had to say it in a sassy way and kind of be pricks about it. So they're not a very fun-loving place over there. Like it's a nice place. She actually already lived there once. Then she moved out. She was moving back in. Like it's nice. But like the rules stuff is kind of grumpy. yeah. Parent energy. But it's nice. There's a bunch of like space in there. It's nice places to walk because I live in the center of the town. So like walking around here is not that great, you know. You're inhaling like fumes and you can't like run that long without having to cross the street, so you have to stop. So in there, you know, there's very little car movement and you can basically kind of run freely. It's a nice place to jog, to walk pets. There's a little soccer field thing. There's a playground, not that we have kids, but you know. Just saying that there's like stuff, there's place to have barbecues. There's a whole little community thing. It's like cheaper than the place she was staying in, which was just an apartment. Which is actually slightly smaller. So yeah. Okay, I have procrastinated enough. It is time to do these hands. I'm delaying the inevitable. I'm here like drawing nothing just so I don't have to move on to hands. But it's sketch hand, so it's okay. It's not as terrible. Is the resolution alright for you guys, by the way? I was browsing earlier and you know my connection, which apparently is a thing for a lot of people, you know, in Latin America, my connection is not so great. So when people stream in like 1080p, depending on the time of day especially, like it gets really laggy and bad. So I keep my resolution pretty low. Yeah, I think it looks fine, right? So because yeah, I keep it low because apparently most people just don't get the option, don't get like to have different scales if you want to change it, like add the options. I have mine set to 480p so I don't buffer often. Yeah, oh, you can choose between different resolutions. For me, I thought I couldn't. Like I opened my thing in a... Oh really? Huh. So I guess I could put like the high one higher. That's odd because I opened it. It was a VOD though, of course, because like I wasn't live. Yeah, 540 is like my output. So, that's odd. When I opened like an incognito window and I didn't see any options. Yeah, apparently, but I heard like not all. Someone said in another stream that not all affiliates get it. It's kind of random. You have to hope for it or something. Maybe it has to do with like our settings. I don't know. But in my settings, I only found like my output, so that's 540. But when I logged into incognito and looked at a VOD, it didn't show any other possibilities. That's why I stream on YouTube. It's much simpler for me. Yeah. If I make a YouTube, maybe I'll have it streamed to YouTube as well. Because I think you can just set OBS to stream to a bunch of platforms, right? So maybe I'll just make a YouTube and have it be there as well. Just wouldn't be able to see, or would I? I guess I would be able to see chat, I assume, because I look at OBS chat. I assume that brings in people from whatever platform is talking. This hand looks kind of long. I'm going to adjust it, but first, everyone was wearing fingerless gloves. It's a really old Lonely Island song that I always remember when I think of fingerless gloves. I think Twitch doesn't allow streamers to stream to YouTube at the same time, but that might just be for partners Oh, I never heard of that. I actually saw one time one of my blind raids because I had nobody to raid when I ended the stream. We ended up on a stream where they were pretty clearly streaming somewhere else and just also on Twitch, because they were like talking to like other, they were reacting to other interactions that weren't chat. So I don't know about YouTube, maybe other stuff, maybe it was Facebook, I don't know. I don't know who watches streams on Facebook. Seems like such like different things. Like streams seems like they are for someone who's a little bit more tech savvy, I guess. I wouldn't think of Facebook users watching streams, but maybe. It's probably better that I don't finish this today. It's always good to take another look and like tweak stuff after the fact. So even if like theoretically if I end this really quick and still have a lot of time to stream, which I don't even think will be the case, but even if it is, I'll probably just move on to something else. I don't think I should do callers today. I could draw something else, or I could boot up Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'll actually just redo this arm so it looks more animated when he moves. I'll just do the hands again, and then I'm going to onion skin the... I'll do the other hand, we just say. Then I'm going to onion skin the neutral position, so we'll see how it looks when he switches between them, you know. So right, I'm gonna get rid of this one, and I'm going to have neutral at 25% or less. Yeah, let's do 15%. Sorry, I think I missed a bunch of stuff. Right. I use a second screen for chat, so I don't know. Yeah, I have chat on OBS on one monitor. I have one monitor, like my main monitor usually has references if I'm using them, or right now I just have the soundtrack up in there. Oops, wrong layer. And then I'm drawing on the tablet, of course. Hey yo, what's up, Neon? We are drawing some talking avatar things for that Metroid guy who is on chat. Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, this is like the behind is the neutral position, which I already drew, and now this is the talking position. I have it visible so I see like the movement that this link's going to make. It's good to see the drawing phase in art. I don't see it too often. Yeah, when I started streaming, I guess you mean like, you know, the initial sketch as opposed to like final art. When I started streaming, I avoided sketches for a while because I did some early on and I noticed that I was really not liking my own work. Because when you're streaming, you know, you're kind of self-conscious because you know there's people seeing what you're doing and you're not used to that idea, and you're talking so you don't have like your full focus. So sketches are the easiest part to mess up. So I was doing bad sketches and I was working slowly, which I can't really afford to do. So I started only streaming after I had the sketch when I was in final art. At this point I am more comfortable streaming sketches as well, if that's how it kind of works out. I'll still tend to stream final art more because the way commissions work, for me, is I send like the rough sketches for approval and I only get payment and start on the final art after like they approve the rough sketches. So there's usually like a gap. I can't like do the sketches and immediately move on to final art because there's a little gap where they need to see the sketch, approve it, give me their email, pay the PayPal request, and then I can move on. And you don't know how long that's going to take, how long it's going to take for people to see the message, look at the sketch, if they're going to be okay with the initial sketch or if they want to change something. So, you know. The potato eye and looking sweet, what's up? You done with your stream? I wound up not catching that much of it because then I had to take a shower and eat something and start my own stream. Hey, what's up? Hope you guys had fun over there. Nothing much, I just got lunch and yeah, I did, it was all good. It was a lazy day for me. Yeah, yikes. I guess you were just drawing kind of for fun, right? That's nice. Kind of want to do that more, but I always have stuff I should be drawing, like both when it comes to commissions, which this is one, or just fan art. It's been a long time since I posted fan art, which is what everybody follows me for. So I'm constantly losing Twitter followers because I don't know why that's the case. Like I had Tumblr for years and I would go months without posting anything because, you know, I just get busy with like school and stuff. And I didn't lose that many followers. But on Twitter, you're kind of constantly losing followers, and you have to gain them back by being posting stuff, but like visibly every day. Twitter's a battleground. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I've heard people speculating that Twitter auto unfollows people. Like if you follow a ton of people and you haven't interacted with someone for a really long time, like with their tweets, if you haven't liked or whatever, that they unfollow you automatically, I kind of have to assume that's what's happening, because I lose a lot of followers when I'm not posting anything. Who like is going to unfollow me, but like remember that I exist without me posting anything, and like looked for me and actively unfollowed? That's such a weird thing. They're going to unfollow. Like, I get people unfollowing when they see one of my pieces and they're like, "Oh, this is not really my thing." They stop doing the kind of thing I followed them for, or whatever, or this was not quite what I expected. That's fine. But I find it so weird for people to like be unfollowing while I'm completely inactive. Why do you have to post every day? It's not like followers have to do anything to stay subscribed to you. Feels random to get seen. This is also why I don't use Twitter, too much to deal with. Yeah, I guess it's pretty tough in there. But it's the place where I got traction other than Tumblr, and Tumblr is dead. So that's where I get like basically all of my commissions. Like I'd be pretty screwed at this point without Twitter. I almost gave him 6 fingers, and I got confused with the sketch. Like I don't know, I managed to have a Twitter. My Twitter is just for art, so I managed to have like a livable Twitter. But yeah, I find that kind of thing where you're losing subscribers all the time kind of weird and kind of vaguely stressful. Yeah, Tumblr was awesome. Tumblr had the best system for any social network. I loved asks. I loved the queue. I love being able to post stuff in whatever format you want. If you want to make like something huge, if you want to make something that alternates images and text in whatever order you want, like you had complete freedom. You could even like program your own Tumblr page with your own like custom code and basically make a website that they would host for free. It was like ridiculously good for creators. Fair, I did most of my stuff for funsies and never really built anything, so it's easier for me to flip Twitter and the bird and say no thank you. In my defense, I don't know how to find people for commissions outside of Twitter. Yeah, so Tumblr was pretty decent for finding people. I found a lot of cool people on Tumblr. I also only followed artists, and I found a lot of ones I liked. But now that's gone, and like DeviantArt, is an absolute nightmare, and apparently it's really declining in users as well. But it's impossible to find stuff on DeviantArt. Just there's no navigation features. You're just jumping blind into a pool of weird fetish art and hoping to find something. So again, like it's kind of good in that it lets you upload your art in really good quality, but it's bad in that there's no way to find artists or navigate it in like a rational way. You just like follow artists that you already found, and then their feeds just like put in a folder that you can like open later and look through. Very old-fashioned, I guess, but it's not very navigable. Now I made an art station, so now that's the best gallery for my art right now. It's the art station, which if you click gallery below the stream, it will take you to the art station. It's also where I'm hosting like my commission prices, but I have not even tried navigating that yet. People seem to find me, like I'm just dumping my art there with like no tags, and I guess people who just browse by recent are kind of finding it because every piece I post gets like a couple of likes, but I'll have to look into the navigation thing. But I didn't even try to be findable there because like I'm posting fan art and I'm not even tagging it as anything. I'm just using it as like an art repository. You heard my mind on DeviantArt, yeah, basically. I'm a big degenerate, I like sort of crazy things, but I want to DeviantArt for like the first time in years today, and within like minutes I was super grossed out. Yeah, like when DeviantArt like restructured their website, I tried, like I figured, or maybe they made navigation better. So I went into navigation, like I went into my settings and into like a browse window like in parallel, and I was just looking through it and just like checking the tags that they were using and just blocking tags. I blocked like a paragraph worth of tags to like make that stuff browsable, and it still didn't work because not everybody tags their weird stuff, so it was still kind of a mess. And even regardless of that, there is still just hard to look for stuff. It's very mixed quality, it's very difficult to find stuff. You kind of feels like 90s internet, like you're like googling a keyword and seeing what shows up, you know. There isn't like a network of stuff. The way actually I found people on DeviantArt that I liked was I would find one needle in a haystack, like one good artist just randomly, and then I'd look at their favorites and then their favorites, and I'd browse from person to person like that. That's the only way I could find. Oh, I love your panel setup, super cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I put some work into it. I still haven't done like other animations like you, but I found I figured out how to do it. I just have to take the time aside to do other little animations for this little talking guy, and maybe for the robot I could also make the robot do things. And yeah, but I also use the slide transition to make the little walking robot. He's like a static GIF, as well as one just fully transparent GIF scrolling in a slideshow just very slowly, and the slideshow is much bigger than the screen, so he just kind of walks by. I don't use DeviantArt anymore, Lamau. It brings back memories. Yeah, my DeviantArt's really behind. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a full year behind. But I still intend to at some point update it. I just have to sit down and like do it while I'm like watching a movie or something, because it's just kind of a boring, laborious process. What else? I'm kind of getting behind in messages. Sorry if I'm not drawing that much. And since you asked earlier, what's up? Yeah, my phone broke. Oh no! Sorry to hear that. That's what I did to find you. I was just going through like likes and I was like, oh really? You found me on DeviantArt? That's crazy. Very few people found me on DeviantArt. Most like I got a lot. I did really well on Tumblr. Like I was there for way longer than I have been on Twitter, but I got more followers over there. I feel with fewer pieces overall because I wasn't posting as often. I still have like, if you look at my number of followers, I still have like, I don't know, I think 1100 something followers. Like still more than Twitter. Even though like nobody uses it anymore. Like it's dead followers, but it's followers nonetheless. I kinda stalled on 9k on Twitter, but I've also not been like posting as much fan art. I've been doing a lot of commissions. On Twitter, but through likes. I get it. I think for some reason DeviantArt runs low for me. Really? Oh, that's odd. Yeah, DeviantArt is, well, the name's appropriate. I'm not sure that's what they meant when they named the website, but yeah. It's kind of a hellhole. They just never were able to like section their website off. Like I have zero problem with like fetish art and all that stuff. People, need to have a place to do that. They clearly, they're having fun, they're finding community in that stuff. As much as I don't get it, especially like why people see the need to make porn like a social activity, but anyway. Like cool, they should have their space and stuff, but it makes it a very bad website to navigate when you're not able to section stuff off, right? Like make it so people find the stuff they want to find and don't find the stuff they don't want to find. DeviantArt was never good at either of those things, really, but the second one gets kind of extra emphasis because of the amount of weird stuff on DA. Like on the side, welcome to our website. We got some cool art characters, airplanes, and fetish art. A lot of fetish art. Jesus, there's a lot of fetish art. Yeah, I also couldn't find a way to delete old posts, so I just deleted my account. Yeah, I actually am not sure you can delete old posts from... I actually don't remember, because I wanted to get old posts like out of view, but preferably not delete them fully. So I don't remember if that's just what I couldn't do, because there is always like all art tab on your gallery, and that's always going to contain all your pieces. You can't, like, a piece can be in several like different folders, but it can't not be in the all art folder. You can exclude them from any other folder, but not the all art. So maybe that's it. So I never deleted anything from DA, but I don't remember if it's just because I didn't want to fully delete it. So if you want to look at like my really, really bad art from when I was younger, you can just scroll down a lot. I've forced you to scroll down a lot to be able to see it, but you can still see it. I did the same, yeah. Yeah, I never deleted anything from DeviantArt. It's all there. But I kinda hope people don't go there. Just because, older art's kinda cringy to look at. Not that I have like the kind of thing you'd think of for old DeviantArt cringe art. Like, I didn't make OCs, I didn't make anything not safe for work. It was just art that wasn't that good yet because I was young. Really messed up the perspective on this arm. I think this looks fine. For some reason, old bad art that I had used to receive way more attention than new better art. That is very much a thing that happens. It's something that I talk about often when it comes to internet things. How engaging a certain idea is to people will make a lot more difference than the quality of the art. Every artist seems to have this experience of art that they really like getting no attention, like being really proud of something and it getting no attention. They're not really being proud of something else and it getting a lot of attention. I feel it's really because people like the concept, the very broad idea makes more difference than whether the art's really well made. Unless it's like crazy good. If people are really crazy good, then they'll pretty much always get like attention. But if you're like at my level, if you're more of a medium rate artist, it's really more about the ideas, whether people like the concept of what you drew. It's also kind of funny / frustrating that a couple of my more popular tweets were just kind of joke tweets / like memes. Like my most viewed stuff, top several, just Smash Persona art, because that's the thing that really blew up. After that, there's the Darkstalkers mock screenshot. I had a feeling like I invested a lot of time into that one because I thought the chances of that doing well were very good. So I put time into that. That one was very much premeditated, like let's make a thing that will do well. Anyway, after that, there's like, I could even show the tweets. I would show it if it didn't take too long to do it. But one of them is like basically, I have this stuff where I draw Samus from Metroid in other universes. And as a filler post for a day where I hadn't had the chance to draw, I just had this one. There was a panel of Scott Pilgrim, the comic book, with Samus drawn over a character, which was just a joke about how inconsistent her hair color was in early Metroid. So it's barely my own art, basically. Like I just drew Samus clothes over a character and kind of made a little montage thing. And that's probably my next most liked tweet after the Darkstalkers one. So that's pretty annoying. And after that, or a few ones after that, there's one that's just about the morph ball animation in Smash Bros. And how there used to be like some really weird, like in the original Smash Bros, you can kind of go frame by frame with the pause button. Samus would be like, oh, here I am at normal mode, right? I'm about to turn into a ball. And then she was like really, in that jump animation when she's in kind of the fetal position. And then she just looked like chewed up gum for us, like a split second. And then she looked like a little meatball, that she looked like this. And then she looked like the morph ball, right? That was the original Smash Bros. Then in Melee there was just one kind of chewing gum thing. They kind of just looked like smoothed over, like she was partially digested or something. Then in Brawl, they just changed her proportions a lot to kind of start squishing her into a ball. Like the different pieces of her body were in very weird little proportions. So she was all messed up. And in the new ones, she just goes straight from like fetal position to ball. So it got less and less creepy over time. And it was just a post about that. And it got like a crap ton of likes and retweets and stuff. So I don't know, maybe I should do shit posts more often. We all look like chewed up gum meatballs on some days, yeah. I should have posted it as a hashtag relatable moment. My most liked post is a thing I made in 10 minutes, yeah. I wish it followed how the Metroid games show the morph ball transformation more, Yeah, like the older ones, Samus would, like in Super Metroid, she gets kind of goopy. Like it's a pixelated game, so it's not very clear what's happening, but she just kind of like physically morphs into a ball, like she's made of Play-Doh. In Prime, she just turns into energy. I think in Other M she turns into energy as well, right? I don't really remember it. Okay, just delete this layer. This is the new talk layer. Talk. Yeah. Like it was fan art of someone Sona and they retweeted it. We're both like, oh, okay, so the person was popular. Yeah, that happens, right? Like when you don't have that much of a platform and then all of a sudden like you get a huge boost, it's usually because someone popular retweeted it. Like I thought the Darkstalkers one would do pretty decent, but I think it did as well as it did because Max, I forgot Max what his name is, but the fighting games guy retweeted it. It really looked like it was because like someone added him in the comments, and a lot of people seem to be coming from him. Max Dude, that's right, thanks. That's how the show's attack works. Energy to matter conversion. Such a cool concept to me. Yeah, but that's kind of a more recent thing, right? I don't think there was a thing yet on like Super Metroid. Like the ball really exists. Like Morph Ball only exists because Samus was meant to be an android originally. Like that's why it's called Metroid. It's the words metro, like underground trains, and android, because like an android going through underground tunnels. And they fairly late into development changed their mind and decided to make her a woman. So it made more sense when she was a robot and she was like they just said it was easier to animate than like crawling. So it's kind of just a leftover. And actually in the original Metroid and in the Prime games, it really is completely unnecessary for Samus to turn into energy to fit into the Morph Ball, because the Morph Ball is half as tall as Samus, and fitting into a sphere that is half as tall as you is extremely easy. You can just crouch. Like anyone crouching fits inside that sphere. It's actually very, very silly that Metroid 1, Samus and Prime Samus can't just crawl through those tubes. They are comfortably large enough for her to crawl through even with giant shoulders and armor. That Morph Ball is totally useless in that context. But in Super Metroid they switched it to 1/3 her height, so it didn't make sense. Like it became necessary to turn into Morph Ball. It bugs me that you can't sort by most popular tweets on people's profiles. Yeah. If you use Twitter search to search the person's at, does it not search by most popular? I feel like it might. Comically large Morph Ball. Yeah, it was ridiculously big. It's still used in Prime if you pay attention to the animation. They even, when you get Morph Ball for the first time, Samus just somersaults and the shell of the ball just kind of clicks around her and it completely fits her because it is very, very large. Wasn't there a piece of media that tells that many Shozo were crushed while developing the morphball technology? It would say that I heard about that, but I cannot remember. I have no memory of that. Sounds like something that maybe one of those gag 4-panel mangas might have had. Because that sounds pretty silly. What? That was Space Pirates trying to recreate the Marvel. Oh, that's very funny. I hope that's a Metroid Prime thing. Like, it's silly for the tone of Prime, but I hope that's canon. It's Prime, yeah, that's good. I appreciate that. It's been a very long time. Like, when I played the game as a kid, I read like all the scans and stuff, but then I replayed it. I just didn't read most of them, so I don't really remember the lore very much. But it's still very weird. Like, even if you transform matter into energy, and you can store that energy as that kind of glowy thing and then back into matter. Like, Samus still doesn't have a brain or eyes when she's energy, so how can she operate Morph Ball or know where she is? Like, it gets into some very metaphysical stuff. I guess souls do canonically exist in Metroid, because there are ghosts. So maybe, Shozo's technology just incorporates like knowing how ghosts work and you turn into a ghost, basically. The Galactic Federation seems to true though with Sai looks. Her spirit comes out of her body. The other shows are very spiritual. Yeah, I guess maybe it's still first person in Metroid Prime when you're in Morph Ball and Sam is just having an out of body experience. Because she's dead. Because Morph Ball just kills you then unkills you. But you get to stick around as a ghost and just look at yourself. Yeah. You just see your own body. So peyote technology. Peyote I actually don't know how to pronounce. In English. English is very weird with its vowels. You guys have to decide what sound vowels make. You can't just have every vowel making two sounds. And sometimes the same sound can be two different vowels depending on the context. I am again in a state of not knowing what to draw. Tell everybody in chat, tell Neon what to draw. I know, go to DeviantArt and draw the first thing you see. What if Morph Ball is party gyro technology so Samus can look towards at all times while the ball goes in whatever direction? What? I don't know what that means. Draw a Pokemon, I don't know. Again, do you draw Pokemon a lot? The DeviantArt idea sounds pretty good though. Yeah, do it. At some point, I wanted to also do like kind of fun stream activities, but I'm kind of waiting for that stuff to like have more time to build an audience and have like more people in chat necessarily interacting, because you never know when it's going to be a slow day currently. You know, you might have a lot of people talking in chat and you might have nobody talking in chat. So when that's more reliable, like some level of interaction, I want to start doing stuff like drawing games kind of stuff, you know, like that kind of idea. Let's just go on DeviantArt, look at something, and then I'll do my version, or I don't know, redraw some really old art that I find, or stuff like that. Or the kind of stuff that like art YouTubers do, where they're like, let's spin a wheel with like characters and styles, and like do that character in that style, you know. More of a fun activity thing. Draw my OC Neon. No, but for real, draw your favorite Smash character fighting your least favorite Smash character. When I don't know what to draw, I just draw random Pokemon. Oh, DeviantArt is boring right now. My draw the wolf idea sounds pretty good. Yeah, let me think. For me, it would be Marth fighting Duck Hunt, probably. And I don't think I need to say which is which. Like, but isn't Samus your favorite? Yeah, like Samus is the main character of my favorite game series. But I've always been a Marth main to the extent, like I'm not super, like I don't like playing most of the time with one character, but I used to be best as Marth on Melee, which was the one that I played most, and I can still do fine as him. I like his moveset, I like how he works, so my favorite Smash character is Marth. Or Sephiroth. I'm an aggressive Samus main. I like playing as Samus, like I made it a point to be decent as her. But I kind of enjoy Marth more. Captain Falcon is also very satisfying in Melee. Mitra, I want to play Link more. No way, I'm Roy main, or Ganondorf, I'm a Wolf main, but I haven't played in ages. Yeah. As far as Roy and Ganondorf go, I'm assuming you don't mean Melee, but rather Ultimate, otherwise I feel very sorry. Mine would be Zelda fighting Byleth. You don't like Byleth? Is it like a too many Fire Emblem characters thing? Because I'm pretty indifferent, I guess. I do think there are too many Fire Emblem characters. Like when they announced Chrom as like another Fire Emblem clone, I was like, there are already 2 representatives from that one Fire Emblem game, you know. There's already Lucina and Robin. Like, do we really need Chrom as well? Mine would be Terry fighting Dark Pit. Dark Pit's pretty boring, I guess. Oh, their side B is more of a gameplay kind of thing. I was thinking about more in terms of like I dislike this character because I really Duck Hunt just like there were enough joke characters in Smash 4. I don't know why they used another slot for that. You know, they were already kind of accumulating them because in Melee there was Game and Watch. It's kind of a joke, but it was also valid because it's like not really a character, but representing Nintendo's earliest games. Then there was Rob in Brawl, which they were cool in Subspace Emissary, but I thought making an add-on a character was kind of meh. Like, especially when there was like Little Mac and stuff. There were some pretty big characters that weren't in the game yet. And then Smash 4 had Wii Fit Trainer, which was fairly funny. Like, Wii Fit Trainer, I'm okay with. And at least they're a character, like, they're just kind of a silly, unexpected character. But Duck Hunt, just a bit too much. Too many silly characters at once. And there's probably never going to be an Advanced Wars character in Smash, right? Because the series is pretty dormant. Like, they're going to make a kinda lazy looking re-release of the first two games for Switch, but I don't think they're... Maybe that does really well, they'll make a new one. Maybe they're testing the waters, but doesn't seem like they're very invested in the franchise right now. Because that could have been cool. And they should do another crossover Nintendo game instead of Smash. What kind of... I don't know. Like, I feel like they might as well like center their efforts in one. You never know, Duck Hunt belongs on the game. Yeah, I really don't like it. Nintendo Kart or Smash MOBA? I don't know. Because like Mario Kart, like it has kind of a... It kind of justifies being a Mario thing because it takes place in like Mario worlds and all the items are Mario. But I think if you dilute a card game too much, it's like, how much is your character even bringing to the table, right? Because they pretty much all play the same. So it would be just like sprites and stages that would be of different games. So I don't know. I don't think it's like as good at like showcasing characters with different styles and stuff as a fighting game. And a MOBA, maybe. Like, people don't seem to have liked the Pokemon MOBA. Apparently you can just buy levels. Like, you actually get objectively stronger with levels, and it takes forever to level up unless you like buy levels. So that kinda sucks. Not a good model. Like, you could do that if you had a really low level cap that everybody's basically going to be playing at. Even then I don't like it. But at least, you know, like kids who don't have money but do have time can put in the time and eventually be in the same level as people who paid. But if people who paid can just like be way stronger than you can ever realistically get and keep beating you, that's pretty awful. Sorry. could make Smash Warriors. Yeah, that'd be neat because then you have more gameplay variation. Oleg, I'll be going now. As always, art's looking super cool. Have a great one. Bye bye. Bye, Oleg. Thank you as always for dropping by. See you around. I don't like play to win aspects of it. It's so dumb. Alright. It's so dumb. Yeah, it sounds like pretty awful. I had Pokemon MOBA is fun to play, but also really pay to win, yeah. Though Nintendo aren't involved Pokemon Unite, I don't think any. Well, I'm sure they like greenlight everything that the Pokemon company does. And I'm not sure who developed it. I assume it's not Game Freak either. It's just licensed, but I think the Pokemon company is like fully a subsidiary of Nintendo and needs to run stuff by them. Like major design decisions. But yeah, I don't know, I never really played a MOBA. I had friends who played Dota and then Dota 2, and I talked to them and they were like, oh, you should play Dota, and I was like, okay, can you like, how do you learn how to play? Can I just go with you guys like and get started and like play a couple of matches to know? And they were like, no, you're going to have to like just fully try to learn the game and like study it and then like play it for a full day at least to like learn how it even works, and then you start being able to like compete at all, even in like a game between friends. And so I was like, yeah, no thanks, not interested. Like, I don't really like games that you can't get better at, like simply, like I end up never getting started on games that have like a huge startup investment where you need to not have fun for a while before you can have fun with the game. And I also never like look into, like I never study games to like learn about the meta or strategies. If I can really learn a game by playing it, I'm usually not going to invest the time. Because I don't know, I don't get that much time to play games, and so I want to like 100% of the time that I invest to be like me enjoying the experience. I don't want that to be like a bunch of time where I'm like working to later enjoy the game. I played a lot of League. Dota seems too much. Yeah, I think League's a little bit more accessible, but the people I knew played Dota. I tried MOBA once and didn't like it. How did MOBAs become so popular if they are so hard to get into? I think they just, like, people do enjoy that kind of stuff. Like Dark Souls, people who play Dark Souls usually read a bunch of stuff into it. Like, I've yet to find someone who like really liked Dark Souls and didn't like read about builds and stuff, because you know the game doesn't even tell you what the stats that do. I'm just going to. So you know, I think for some people that's kind of satisfying, but I don't really enjoy that kind of stuff. Also, I just draw something random right now. I started on Wolf, saw something in my drawing, and yeah, it's a dude now. I don't know. Okay, go for it. When you're done, if you wanna put it on stream real quick, you can give me a link and we'll talk about it. Oh, yikes. That is... Oh, thanks for gifting a sub. That's so cool. Thank you so much. I had not customized that, and apparently stream sounds are very loud right now. They scared the crap out of me. But thank you. Sorry if my initial reaction was a bit negative towards it. Kinda just freaked me out. I hadn't heard that sound before. I barely bothered to like add a sound and stuff for subs, let alone gift subs, so I was not prepared for this occasion. One of these days I'm going to like polish up the stuff and have all custom animations, custom sounds and all that jazz. Just need to get some time down from commissions. Just after a while, like if my backlog takes a while, I feel kind of bad and I feel like I can't do other stuff before moving up on to the next commission. It was really cheap, better spend supporting a nice guy than buying pointless characters in Predator Hunting Grounds or Dead by Daylight for the same price. I deleted the sketch, I just hate my drawing right now, oh sorry. Yeah. Yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah, I guess like subscribing has very different costs depending on where you live. That's something that people complain a lot about Twitch, that a subscription is $5, doesn't matter where you are, but like cost of living and like exchange rates vary a lot, so $5 means something very different depending on where you live. So in Brazil, $5 is actually a lot of money for something that's like kinda just a niceness. It's $3.99 here, really? Did they start doing like custom stuff? Oh, the prices just went down in the UK, huh? I should look into them in Brazil, because last I heard of it, because it hasn't been that long since I checked in Brazil at least, because like it was right around when I started streaming, I made a Twitch account, and then I checked by curiosity if it was still $5, and it was. So maybe that changed very recently, but when I started my account it was still $5 in Brazil, which is kind of a lot. Like a lot of stuff, like Steam games are a lot cheaper. Like if you just convert it from dollars, they're a lot cheaper in Brazil, because just, you know, everything is cheaper. The cost of living is cheaper, but also, you know, wages are lower proportionally. So if anybody's going to buy games, you need to make it like adjust them not just based on the dollar, but based on the cost of living or wherever you're selling stuff. It's $5.99 for me, huh? I think gifting is 20% off. Oh, it's pretty cheap for me actually. Changed the prices recently, for me at least. That's nice. Yeah, you know, $4 in Germany, I assume is not that much money. But yeah. But you know, for me $5 is less, you know, buying me a coffee than it is buying me a pretty decent bottle of rum. So I very much appreciate it. Like decent, like supermarket level stuff, just not, you know, crappy, bad for you kind of. When I looked, I think it just said $5, and then like the conversion to real, which is our money, when like you click into it. But I don't really remember. I just said that's like the lowest tier, then there were other tiers, and like the high tiers are just absurd for us. Because like Netflix for us is like $3 something if you converted it to reais. What we pay in Brazil for Netflix would be like $3 something. So the idea that it's considerably more expensive to like get tier 1 emotes for a stream you can watch for free and no ads, that's considerably more expensive than all of Netflix. Should put it in perspective how much subs are over here. Have US dollar, I'm not sure what you're asking though. If you got right 299. Yeah, that sounds about right. But it's very hard to like say exactly how much it is because cost of living is different for different stuff, right? So we pay a lot less for food and rent over here. Like if you convert all the values to dollars, we pay a lot less for food and rent. But we don't pay that much less for like electronics and general luxuries. Stuff doesn't scale all the same. So like buying a new phone is way more of like of an occasion here. I see people in the US like exchanging electronic devices very, very frequently. Like buying the new iPhone as soon as it comes out isn't like a mark of extreme wealth. It's just like you being into iPhones. When over here, that's pretty crazy. I don't even know anybody who owns an iPhone anymore. Partially because there is no reason to own an iPhone in my opinion, but there are equivalent products for less money, I guess. People kind of also gradually realized that when the smartphone market matured, that iPhones weren't the only good one. And their price is kind of unjustifiable. I don't know what I'm doing with this hand. But yeah. Oh, I want a phone that just works. Oh, so sorry, Neon. That sucks. I never broke a phone. I've actually dropped mine a couple of times, but it never even cracked the screen. I'm pretty lucky because when you drop your phone, like height doesn't even seem to matter that much. You're just kind of rolling a dice. Like it's about how it falls. In which side the impact is. Because some people drop their phones from very not high up, and they break. While I once was running at like full speed in a treadmill with like my earphone plugged in. So I was running, I don't know, like 11, 12 kilometers per hour. Like it was a full run. And like my arm went up and I kind of pulled the earphone wire accidentally, which pulled the phone out of my pocket, and it proceeded to slap screen down onto the treadmill and then be launched backwards onto the ground and like against the edge where the ground touches the wall, and just stick there face down. And I was like, okay, it's completely gone, right? And the screen wasn't even cracked. It was completely intact. Because I think it fell so flat that it just kind of landed on like the little borders of the little jacket that goes around the phone. And it was just that, suffering the impacts, so it didn't break, didn't scratch, it didn't like, there was no torsion to break the screen, it just kind of went splat. Sorry, a couple of comments to read. I had one old phone that got old, then I had another old phone, then I had a phone which got killed by rain, then I got a phone that dropped once and it landed so bad that the screen broke, and now my phone just said no. Oh, this one just died of sadness. Just died of old age. It died the Padme death, where it just no specific reasons, just by. One time I went to take a shower and I set my phone face down on the counter. Then I got out, flipped my phone over, and it cracked all over. Oh, so sorry about that. Had no idea what happened. It got sad, yeah. Do you leave the phone in the bathroom while you shower? I always have it outside. I feel like the steam is going to like corrode all the little entrances and plugs and exposed metal parts. There's some cracks at the bottom of the screen, but I don't cover anything, so yes, it's fine. I have in the bathroom for music, huh? Yeah, I never wanted to do that because I always felt like water would like what's the word? When vapor becomes liquid again in contact with a colder surface. It would do that on the phone, and it would be wet, like I always figured. And it's not supposed to be wet. I used to work in a as a dishwasher. The steam was always flowing up against my phone, didn't seem to affect in any way. I was even able to upgrade it to my current phone for free after an inspection. Oh, cool. It's a good point, though I generally don't see anything on the phone. Yeah, so it was probably fine. I just figured it like counted as like water, and you're not supposed to expose it to water, but if it's fine, apparently it's fine. It's cool that people like I see stuff from like developed countries. Oh Christ! I really need to lower the volume of those things. Yikes! But thank you. Thanks. I still don't know what channel point to do, but yeah, I really need to mix those way down. Yuck. I used to have them way down because there's a sound like the Hello there. You can redeem sounds with channel points. I think if you hover your mouse over the screen, it will show up on like the right side of the screen, and you can look at it there. But yeah, I'm actually sure what channel points do, but it might be good for me. I'm not sure. But I'm getting a phone for my brother. I don't know when he got a new phone, but I'm not complaining. From my brother. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I'm on my second smartphone still. It's serving me nicely, though this one isn't as old. My other one, like, I didn't have a smartphone until like, I don't know, 2016. I took a really long time to have a smartphone, basically. I just never saw the need for it, and I didn't want to spend the money. And when I got one, I got like the first model Samsung. Like, it was still like they were chubby. You remember when smartphones were kind of chubby? They had a certain, they were thick and fairly small, but that just wouldn't run, like, fairly quickly. That just wouldn't run apps. Like, have the new, I'm not even talking about like games and stuff. I didn't care about that. Just regular apps would routinely crash on it. So I at some point had to get a new one, and I got like a what's it even? It's a Motorola, I think. So yeah, I got that. It was like the cheapest one from a manufacturer whose name I knew. Although apparently, like, people were buying some from like Chinese companies that are like newer on this market, so people are not used to them. But that was still like a new thing when I got my phone, so I didn't want to take the leap. But I guess it was alright. Like, the people who bought the Chinese ones, I don't think they had problems. Dead Wolf, gotta go to work now. Have a good one. You too, Dead Wolf. Thank you so much for dropping by. Have fun. See you around. I mean, I guess you're not going to have a lot of fun at work, but you know, have not a bad time at work. Yeah. But I'm getting a phone from my brother. Wait, that's also a recent thing. Oh god, oh fuck. What's a recent thing? Take Samsung. There's also a recent thing. Oh god, oh fuck. What you mean a recent thing? Early smartphones are 10 years old. Like, you were the Samsung virtual assistant. What's that? I don't think I had that in my very old Samsung. Oh, thick, because I made... Okay. Okay. I am not aware of that, but I immediately get what you mean. They made like one of those person assistant, and people are making porn. Makes sense. Every brand and store and corporation now needs to have a white lady made of computers. That's the face of their company. Company waifus are just the thing. And that's really boring. I'm gonna look her up. I bet her design is super boring. Don't worry, I have say search on, so it's probably only going to be 50% porn. She is very boring. They went kinda half cartoony with her. Doesn't really work. She's kinda creeping me out. Yeah, very uncreative, very generic looking. She kind of looks like the live action Alita, like from Battle Angel Alita, where they made her eyes big. It's kind of creepy. Her hair. There's like Incredibles era Uncanny Valley where her hair is way too realistic, but her skin looks like porcelain and her eyes are big. So yeah, she's creeping me out. Also, why does one of her main images looks like she's upset at her phone? Like one of the main promotional images is this, where she looks like she hates her Samsung. She does not look happy about this Samsung. It's not a good promotional image. And also, yes, the fact that her clothes look like clothes, her hair looks like hair, but her whole skin looks like a doll and her eyes are big, really freaks me out. And this is my reaction. I am not a fan. Is there? I don't think there is a slight smile. Maybe? I don't know. She seems disappointed. She does not seem like this is a good phone. But anyway, yeah, she's pretty bad. I mean, if they're going to make corporate waifus, they should go like full Hatsune Miku and make them absurd, right? They should be more fun. They should look like the logo. They should have colored hair and like be fully a cartoon. That's just kind of dumb. Bowser still shows up in my timeline every once in a while. I actually like it. Oh no. I don't know. Bowser is kind of boring. Seems a very good design. There are some looks of Bowser I like. Or maybe I haven't seen all the designs. Was that good? Everything I like, just the things are fine. I'm a simple man. Okay. Ones where she looks more buff and has darker skin. Okay, at least there's a bit more of a design. With a more Bowser-esque look, well, then just go for full Bowser, you coward. There's definitely Bowser porn, I have come across it. Like, give a character horns and maybe a tail, and my tiny little gooby goblin brain is satisfied. I am so happy you said brain at the end of that sentence, but okay. Yeah, sure, that's cool. Yeah, the sentence was going in a scary direction for a second. But I get that much. For some reason Bowser itself, maybe the premise just was an instant nope from me, but the rest of that I get. Stump position is impossible. I feel the same about Armorless Samus though. I hate her design so much. Around some people I would say something else. Yeah, but we're in a public stream, you never know who's around. Behave yourself. Yeah, like modern Zero Suit Samus is a pretty boring design. They could have gone for something better. I think it's about time for a redesign. She's literally Barbie. Yeah, it's pretty generic. Yeah. Like they've been drawing her a little bit more buff, kinda sometimes, but very indecisive. They keep going back and forth. Like in Metroid Other M, she had like stick arms that look really weird. But I guess in Smash Ultimate, she's a little bit more muscular again. Because like in Super Metroid, she had like really well defined arms and like abs and stuff. So I usually, when I draw her, I kinda take that as a reference. But that's not like consistent in Nintendo art. I also like that at least in Fusion she has like a super big frame, like she has really wide shoulders and looks ridiculously tall. That's a little bit more fun. She looks lanky. But Zero Mission, she looks pretty generic, and yeah, I think it's about time for a redesign. They could do something more interesting with that. I'm working on a Samus redesign video and these sketches will be for it. Oh, cool. Super Metroid Armorless Samus is the best Samus so far. Yeah, I feel like, you know, the outfit's a bit silly. Because they were still doing the alien thing where she's like taking off the armor and like basically being in underwear. So it doesn't really work for her walking around, right? You wouldn't have her walking around in basically a bikini. Yeah, but I like the... I always get this comment when I post like Samus that's based on Super Metroid that they like the floofy hair. Because I like the big hair. That does like bam... It's like the big volume. And yeah, I like this, she's a little bit more muscular and stuff. And I like the top. I actually, one of my D&D characters, like my monk dinosaur guy, basically has her top. But then, like in Super Metroid, it's basically like black boots and like a bikini bottom, which, you know, doesn't really work much. But I feel like they could work with that. They could do like maybe pants that arc up like this as well to be kind of futuristic-y looking, and then like different color boots. Even something like that would be like pretty decent. Then you could, you know, do more design stuff with that. But I like arms out. I like the Nintendo Power version. Actually, best suitless Samus is probably the Nintendo Power version, in my opinion. You know, just something like this. Maybe have some designs here with like different color, whatever. Even something like this would be fine. I prefer short hair Samus personally because she wears the helmet all the time. Yeah, it's like, not that you can't wear a helmet with short hair, but you know, if you're redesigning her, it's valid. Also, let me Google something. Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's a tiny image, no. Isn't there a high-res version? Better sit back for now. My girlfriend play a game, so I'm gonna say bye, but still see you thing. Oh, cool. See you around. I was looking for the design from the Super Metroid 4 Coma, but I only found it like a tiny version, so I had to reverse image search. It's been a whole quest, and now the first link is broken. Why is this so difficult to find? Alright, I got it. There's this design, like this is the only image I found of it, which is basically a different version of Super Metroid Samus, and I like it. I think it's a really good design. Like, it's simple, and I like the arms being out. I think it works, and it's kind of based on Super Metroid 1, but being more of a full outfit. I like the boots thing, where it's like white in the middle and black. I like a lot of solid blacks in character design, so I think this looks pretty neat. I should draw like a full scale, like a realistic or like semi-realistic, whatever. Draw a non-chibi version of that design. That would be like a fun thing that wouldn't take a lot of time. Let me make a note of that. There you go. Because I think that design's pretty good. But I assume you're going to use these like in an ongoing fashion, right? It's not just for one video. It's like for like future projects, I imagine. Because if you're commissioning for just a video about Metroid redesigning Samus, I figured you'd probably just commission Samus drawings. For finished products as well, yeah, figured. So what's going to be like the sketches are basically a presentation of me. Yeah, I got it. Like you're talking and you switch between the images. Do you want to share what the general like thesis of the video is? Are you going to like propose a possible redesign that you think would look good? What's the idea? What time is it? Okay. Can still stream for a bit. I have my own redesign. Yeah. I saw on your Twitter, right, that you had some really good art, by the way. Who did that art of short-haired Samus? It was like your pinned tweet. Pinned tweet. Sorry. My throat's giving out and my pronunciation's getting worse. Wait, am I in the wrong layer? Oh crap! Oh no, okay, I had it in 2 layers for some reason. But it didn't like ruin anything. I went to bed now. It was a fun stream. See ya, Blagen. Thanks as always for showing up and keeping me company. So yeah, see you around. Bye. But yeah, feel free to like. Oh no, but first I was asking that, right? Who drew the short-haired Samus? Because that was really good. It's no good to criticize a design if you're not going to have a proposition for something better. Yeah, I think that's valid. Is that the artist? I'm gonna open it in the window because it was really good. Did they draw that? Did you like commission that? Did they draw it on their own and you just liked it? How did that happen? Who did the art for the Samus redesign in my video? Okay, so you commissioned them. Yeah, it's really good. I just saw like your profile picture and then the pinned tweet, and I commissioned them and the full design will be shown when the video is out. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I'm not going to like ask for spoilers about the full design. I always like had fun like just designing games for fun in my head, right? Like I didn't even like thinking of game concepts. And for a long time, I figured Metroid just would be better served because I thought they wouldn't go back to like After Fusion ever, and we were just stuck in mid-qual hell forever. I figured Metroid would be better served by a reboot. Like the canon's already kind of a mess anyway. So I was like theorizing a Metroid reboot. I just figured it was like simpler and less presumptuous for me to like do the Metroid Fusion like imaginary game, like Metroid Fusion sequel proposed game rather than a Metroid reboot. But I had like ideas for that as well. Basically, she's more muscular. Yeah, I mean, Metroid has kind of gone back and forwards with that. Like, the Nintendo Power Samus was pretty big and strong as well, and Super Metroid and all that, but yeah, cool. So yeah, I had kind of I just made it for fun, like a concept for a reboot of Metroid, kind of telling the whole story from the start, starting already with 3D games. And I had my thought of a Samus redesign. There was a little bit more radical that I had her. Sorry, you said a bunch of stuff. For a franchise that takes itself seriously, it's shocking how the main character looks like a joke. I mean, under the suit with no reason, it would be opposed to a Metroid. I wouldn't be opposed to a Metroid reboot though. Yeah. So I had this idea for the thing where just Samus, like they would do the thing again where you don't see her without the suit until the end, but instead of like the twist being that she's a woman like in the original Metroid, the twist would be that she, like, not that much of a twist but just a thing for her to, for there to be a little bit more to her character design, would be that she, when her colony was attacked when she was a kid, like there would be like flashbacks to that, and like she had lost both her legs below the knee and one of her, like her right arm after the elbow, like when buildings crashing and all that stuff. And so the suit, like she would have built the suit from like Shozo artifacts, but so yeah, the suit was basically serve as a prosthetic. Like she'd have simpler prosthetics for outside the suit, but the suit would like complete her legs and arms and like be more connected to her. That's basically the idea. So that's what you'd find out when like you take the suit off at the end of the game. It's just like should pretty clearly be a woman, because in modern games you can like see the eyes and there's often like voiceover and stuff like that. But the idea would be that you'd find out that in that event she actually lost 2 legs and an arm. The arm cannon would also make more sense because it's pretty impossible for her hand to be inside that cannon. Like even in Metroid Prime, where they actually made it a little bit longer than her hand, if you look down the tube of the cannon, it's still like it should just reach her hand. The shots should just be coming from her fist. I mean, it used to be like when people thought Samus before Zero Mission, they thought of her in the suit, right? Like the suitless thing was kind of an Easter egg at the end of the game if you finished it fast, and her design was completely inconsistent. I feel like it was more like Zero Mission and especially Brawl that kind of made the idea of suitless Samus as like what people think of as the character. But I don't know, like never taking the suit off also seems like kind of a burqa situation where you're like, oh, like we can't like ever have any exposure to like what a woman looks like, or otherwise you're sexualizing her. Like that's a bit extreme. Would feel kind of weird in a modern game to not even see what the character looks like, unless like something very, very like only gameplay, no lore, like Doom. Like it seems natural to have like story moments without the suit to like humanize the character. because like I think it would be visually kind of against the general thesis of Metroid to have her just look like a robot all the time, because kind of the whole thing is like, you know, she's not like the code killer of the Federation, right? She won't take orders if she thinks she's wrong. She decides on her own to spare the baby Metroid, and when she does, like at first it seems like that's going to screw her over and she should have just killed them all, but by the end of Super, like her kindness pays off. So just just in visual storytelling, having someone be behind like a helmet all the time makes them look kind of dehumanized and like a cold killing machine. Like Master Chief's kind of that, because a fascist regime kidnapped him as a kid and brainwashed him into being like a soldier who has no idea what it is to like be a person. And the games seem to be like weirdly uncritical of that, but anyway, like he looks like a killing machine because he really is just a killing machine. I feel like it would, same for like kind of Doom guy. I feel like it would be kind of counterproductive in terms of visual storytelling to do that with Metroid, because she is a very human character. Yeah, I think kind of just taking like the Metroid Prime thing, where she just takes off her helmet at the end, and you get like a humanizing moment where she looks at the shows of heritage crumbling. I feel that kinda does the trick, depending on the story that you're telling. But I kind of worry sometimes that people overshoot in their zeal to not sexualize female characters and end up like restricting them in the way that they wouldn't restrict male characters. Like, I can't imagine someone really saying, oh, I don't think we should ever see this guy outside of his armor. Right? Like, that would be a weird thing to say, because there's this weird connotation that if you take her armor off at all in any context, it will be exploitative. And you know, restricting that kind of stuff can be bad in its own way, like fully restricting to the point where you're like, oh no, we can't look at her, it's disrespectful. I don't know, I'm not like saying that that's what, you know, you're saying there. I'm just saying, especially for like a YouTube video that you're going to make, you need to make your message very clear that that's not what you're saying, because if people take it that way, like, they're really not going to like it. That the thesis is not because Suitless Samus was at some point used in like a really dumb adolescent way as like a reward. That means she should be stuck inside a suit forever. Otherwise it's sexy. Like, if people think that's the point, you're going to have a lot of trouble. And it's very important to be very clear on the internet on what you mean. Because people come in with a lot of baggage, and even if you say something very clearly, if an argument exists, like if a dumb argument exists out there, or even just in their head, they're going to project the argument onto what you're saying if you're not very clear that that's not what you're saying. I'm only sexualizing Samus to have her out of her suit is just how it's been done so far, so it's inappropriate to the character. Like, yeah, I agree with that. I just want, like, I mean, I think I made the point already. Just to make clear that it's not by definition, like, showing her outside the suit isn't, like, sexy by definition. And it would be fine to do that in a different way, in a different context. Yeah, I don't feel that way. There's ways to have her out of her suit, just as been done so far isn't appropriate to the character. I'm going to explain far too much. It's going to be a big video. Okay, cool. Just making sure. The internet's very tricky to navigate with that kind of stuff. And like the portrayal of women, women's bodies have become political and like culture war fighting grounds. Like, I get that from doing very simple Metroid fan art. Like, I tried to like not draw her super off model from what she has appeared as in like official materials and stuff, and I still get crap from people, mostly from like incel type guys who are annoyed that I didn't make her sexy enough for their taste. But I'm sure people who draw her super sexy also get angry messages for people who feel like that's inappropriate. And I don't really support that either. It's not my view of the character, but I think like pop culture is there for people to, you know, take and mix around and do with what they wish. So the overabundance of like sexualized Metroid art is something that I've expressed frustration with in the past, but I also try to make clear that I don't have a problem with people doing that. Like, it kind of floods it sometimes, but it's not like the fault of individual people who can do whatever they like. Like 40 minutes is the estimate in length. Well, people do sit around for the kind of time watching like YouTube essays, so I can't even like advise you to cut it down. People sit around for way longer. I got recommended a video a while ago. I never watched Doctor Who in my life, but it was in my YouTube front page, a video that was called The Fall of Doctor Who, and it was literally 5 hours long. So yeah, 40 minutes is probably fine. I don't like using real world arguments for character design, to be honest. It doesn't add anything to me. Oh yeah, that's some really dumb stuff. Like the guys who, like, it's genre fiction. Like, guys have been ridiculously super buff since forever, and they're like, oh, it's not feasibly possible for a woman to gain this amount of muscle mass without sufficient protein intake. And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? There's equally wrong, to be honest, law to go after artists like that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with artists who do whatever they like. But yeah, amount of it bothers me, but inherent existence not a problem. Yeah. 40 minutes at a minimum. I had people tell me that when I talk about Samsung. Tell you what, sorry, because there's kind of a delay, so I don't know what specifically, which of my points specifically you're talking about here. I'm really waffling with like the drawing and very unproductive right now. The Samus can't be muscular. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. Like, women pretty clearly can be muscular to some extent. And like, let me open your page real quick. Could you link your Twitter real quick so I don't take as much time off of drawing to like look it up? because it didn't feel like you were going like super muscular either. Like at least her neck from like the joints, like her neck wasn't that wide. Let's see this. Yeah, no, like, oh no, she's like not at all that muscular. Like she doesn't look like that different from Super Metroid, really. Where she's like skinny, strong. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not weird at all. I retweeted one a while ago from a guy that I really like. It's an artist. I won't remember his name at the top of my head. He does a lot of like pixel art as well, but he did like a concept, like an alternate concept for Samus, where she basically had the same physique that she does inside the Varia suit, and I thought that was really good. Like that's definitely more in the level where people can start. Oh, that's really difficult for a woman to have like that kind of physique. Although you know, sci-fi, whatever, maybe they have future steroids. Also, it's not real. Relax. But yeah, I like that as well. Though, like I also like skinny Samus inside a really strong suit. I think that's kind of funny looking, and I like it. But I do prefer like wide shoulders. Like in Fusion, for example, she's pretty skinny, but she has really wide shoulders that would fit in the Fusion suit at least, if not the Varia, because nobody fits inside the Varia. Is ridiculous. That's just not how human beings are built. The core's a little other than Super's. Okay. Yeah, bodybuilder physique doesn't make the most sense to me for Samus, given she's agile. Yeah, and also she wears a power suit and all that. Like, you don't need to justify strength. And also, you know, it's like in genre fiction, people just are strong without being super huge. And anyway, like the people who are supposed to be like super strong don't really have the physique of super strong people. Like if you look at like strongest men in the world competitions, or like weightlifters, weight tossers, they have a lot of body fat. And like in cartoons and comics and stuff, they are always like zero body fat. Just because that looks cool, like people like how that looks. People aren't really designing characters who look the most able to do something. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you don't need to justify stuff. You can just have your character look however you want your character to look. Like it's a game. We're literally talking about the plausibility of a certain physique in the same sentence as you're mentioning hyper advanced space birds who turn into ghosts. Like I don't think, you know, this is a very consistent logical argument. Like logic kind of goes out the window pretty quick. So I don't know. I just generally agree that Samus' overall characterization doesn't match a lot. Some other sexualized designs, so it would probably be worth a redesign. But I also don't get too much into that because it's very, again, internets. It's very difficult to make your point. People always like jump to things that you're saying like it's bad to make sexy characters, or that your character, like if you're going to have a character who's physically strong, they need to be muscular, which I don't agree with any of that. I think people can make characters who look however they want. And if they want, like, if you want to make like Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, who's like the strongest character, but she's super skinny and has giant boobs, it's like whatever, do whatever you want. I don't really have a problem with that. Like you can often take. I'm just annoyed in general at like fandom conversations getting into terms of like it is wrong to do this, it is wrong to do that, it's wrong to like this, it's wrong to like that, if you like this you are bad. I think that's really dumb. It's all aesthetic preference at the end of the day. Like there is a political repercussions to like the volume of it, and you can like want to not be one more person doing like sexualized female characters when there are so many, but that doesn't make the thing itself bad. The games go out of their way to explain it, also I don't mind. I mean, most of the lore is in the manga, really. It's not like Zelda, where it's just magic. Yeah, but it's like comic booky, like it's not hard science fiction either, like it's pretty silly. You know, it's not really Alien or like Blade Runner. Like it's, especially if you take the manga as canon and all the shows and stuff, like it's pretty dumb stuff. Personal character can do whatever they want. Personal characters. Like, I don't hate the people who like Zero Suit Samus, but when they say it's good, it's when I have a problem, to be honest. Most lore is in Prime. I mean, I don't remember that much of the lore. I thought that there was like a few references, because, you know, it's not the Shozo who raised Samus. I remember they making references to like knowing of Samus in the Shozo lore, because they felt like they were having like hallucinations of her before they died. I remember that. I don't really remember any details, like talking about infusing her with Shozo blood or training her or anything like that. I thought that was mostly like first in the Nintendo Power comic and then in the manga. Yeah. But I'm kind of disengaged from Metroid lore because I really don't think it's very good ever since the Samus was adopted by Shozo thing became canon. Like, I think that's pretty silly, and that's fine. But at that point, it's just like a very comic booky kind of lore. So I'm not that invested. Like, I like the games, but I'm not that invested in the lore. And it doesn't play into the stories, really. You can play Metroids 1 through Fusion without considering the whole Shozo, raised by Shozo thing as canon. In fact, like, the original trilogy only makes less sense if you do. But Fusion also doesn't require it at all. So I like the individual stories of the games. The lore I'm kind of meh on. It's pretty silly. That's one thing that I would change for like the reboot. It would go a little bit more hard science fiction. Like my concept for it had her not be raised by the Shozo, but rather find Shozo ruins and like study them, study their technology, scavenge their technology, build her own suit based on their technology. And like then people, kind of want to use it for bad stuff and all that, but have the Shozo be extinct for thousands of years, like they were implied to be in the original trilogy. Yeah, I feel like the stories are pretty self-contained and they make a point of it. I doubt... I mean, actually, Dread's kind of looking like it will use more lore than previous Metroids, since they seem to be following up on like the Shozo that killed the other Shozo and like the memories from Samus Returns. So that's already more taking stuff from the previous games than usual for Metroid. Usually is all stuff that fits inside like a couple of paragraphs at the start of the game. This one takes a little bit more stuff, like Samus being wanted by the Federation, the Metroids, the Shozo, even the X-Parasites coming back. That's kind of a lot of stuff. But it's the internet age, everybody can just Google stuff. Everybody just watches primer videos on YouTube explaining franchises before they get into them. Everything's very easy. People used to just buy, when I was a little kid, I just got Super Metroid. Nobody even told me that other Metroid games existed. Even Super Metroid doesn't make it entirely clear that other games exist. Like, it could just be backstory in the intro. It is weird how they're always shown as ancient but are still alive. Yeah, it's completely silly and incoherent because they were meant to be a long extinct civilization since replaced by the space pirates on Zabis. Like, that's very clearly the lore in the original Metroid trilogy. But then they just did some completely different for the Nintendo Power comic. But the thing is, like, every Nintendo game had a Nintendo Power comic, and the Nintendo Power comic always had completely different lore that conflicted with the game. Like, the events of Super Metroid play out during the Super Metroid comic from Nintendo Power, and it's a different version of them. Like, it's clearly not canon. But then for some reason they decided to make like the worst part canon. And then just the lore made no sense forever. Like, it's very silly. Why is the house that Samus left behind like 10 years ago completely overtaken by nature? Why does Samus not know the surroundings to where she grew up? You literally walk up to the place where she drew something as a kid in Metroid Fusion. Like, she knows that's her neighborhood. Why do I need to unlock the map? It's not very mysterious, is it? Yeah, it's looking like it's using as much lore as Echoes. The Echoes felt pretty... like, the core story felt pretty standalone, because like they introduced the idea of the ink, and like you don't really need to know that the meteor is the same from Phazon to like understand the plot that is relevant for Echoes. I feel like it works on its own. Oh, like it has a lot of lore in its own. I meant that that the new game looks like it's going to be like recalling a lot of stuff from previous games. Like there's Shozo, there's Metroids, there's X-Parasite, there's the Federation hunting Samus, that's like a lot of stuff. Plus, there's gonna be a recap at the start, so it's fine. Yes, but it's probably going to be like a fairly long recap by Metroid standards. The manga I see as canon up to a point. Yeah, up to a point, because again, it conflicts with Zero Mission, and later on, it also conflicts with Other M a little bit. Yeah, so from other games, like this one's looking like it's like calling a bunch of stuff back, because they said it's like the end of the saga of Samus and the Metroids, so Metroids will be relevant, even though they went with Samus having no longer any Metroid DNA on her, so you assume there's other Metroid DNA hanging around. Oh crap, I really need to end the stream. But yeah, there's also Parasites, Shoujo Federation, there's a lot of stuff. I'm actually late to end this stream, I need to eat. Sorry for the kind of abrupt end. I'm just going to see if anyone I follow is on. Yeah, a couple of people. I'm just going to raid real quick. Sorry for ending it kind of on the lurch here. I'm just going to raid real quick. Oh, this one's Portuguese.
O dele tá meio plano demais.
Oh, okay, I'll just read the other one. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna send you guys to a thing. No problem. Thanks for keeping me company. The stream's a lot more fun when there's stuff to talk about. / raid this person. Boop. So yeah, I'm gonna just send it real quick over there. Thank you guys so much again for dropping by, and see you guys around. Bye.